Right now, 60 flood warnings are active across England. 60. And tonight, a massive low-pressure system is about to slam into the United Kingdom with heavy rain, dangerous winds, and snow on the hills. But here is the question most forecasters will not answer honestly. Which cities are going to get hit the hardest, and exactly when will the worst of it arrive at your front door? That is exactly what this forecast is going to give you, city by city, hour by hour. I am going to walk you through every major region in the United Kingdom tonight, Saturday, the 7th of February 2026, so you know precisely what is heading your way and when. And if you stay until the 5-minute mark, I will reveal which part of the country is facing the most dangerous flooding risk right now, one that even the Met Office says could catch people off guard. But first, drop a comment right now telling me where you are watching from. Your city, your town, your village. I will personally check the latest data and reply with what is coming to your area tonight. Seriously, do it now before you forget. Let us get straight into it. The Met Office has just confirmed that the entire United Kingdom will remain under unsettled conditions through this weekend. Every single region. That is not an exaggeration. Cyclonic conditions are firmly in control. Frontal systems are sweeping in from the Atlantic, one after another. But here is the twist. A blocking area of high pressure sitting stubbornly to the northeast is slowing these systems down. That means instead of the rain passing through quickly, it is stalling, lingering, dumping enormous amounts of water on ground that is already completely saturated from weeks of relentless rainfall. And this is where things get serious. Rainfall totals tonight are expected to be greatest across western areas, including parts that are already acutely sensitive to flooding. We are talking about communities that have barely dried out from the last storm. Snow is possible on higher ground across northern England and Scotland. Strong winds will develop along exposed coasts. Yellow weather warnings are in force from the south coast all the way up to the Scottish Highlands. Now, let me take you through this region by region, and I promise you, some of these numbers are going to surprise you. Starting with London and the southeast. The capital this evening is sitting under thick, grey, heavy cloud. The temperature reached about 11 degrees Celsius during the day, but as darkness falls, it will ease back to around 7 degrees. Now, 7 degrees does not sound terrible, but here is what the numbers do not tell you. The dampness combined with the wind will make it feel significantly colder than that thermometer reading. The Met Office is calling it murky with outbreaks of rain. Drizzle and light rain will persist stubbornly throughout the night with occasional heavier bursts. Winds are running between 10 and 21 miles per hour. But here is the part London residents need to hear. After 9 o'clock tonight, visibility is going to drop sharply. Patches of fog will form in the lower lying areas along the Thames Basin. If you are driving through East London, along the river, through the Lee Valley, you need to be prepared for that. A yellow rain warning is active across the entire southeast, meaning localized surface water flooding is possible and transport could face disruption. Check those overground tube sections and suburban bus routes before you leave the house. Grab your waterproof jacket and an umbrella. You will need both. Now, moving to the southwest, and this is where the story takes a dramatic turn. Plymouth is sitting right in the firing line tonight. The temperature is around 11 degrees, but nobody in Plymouth is talking about temperature right now. They are talking about rain. The southwest of England, Devon, Cornwall, Dorset, Somerset is bearing the absolute brunt of the heaviest rainfall in this entire weather event. Band after band of heavy rain is sweeping in off the Atlantic. The ground is already completely saturated, and this is critical. The Environment Agency has issued over 60 flood warnings, and the majority are concentrated right here in the southwest and southeast. Gusts in Plymouth could reach 20 to 25 miles per hour, given its exposed coastal position. If you live in this part of the country, check right now whether your property sits within a flood risk area. Do not skip this next part because it affects millions of people. Crossing the Bristol Channel into Wales. Cardiff recorded about 10 degrees today, but tonight it drops to between 5 and 7 degrees. South Wales has already endured punishing downpours this week, and tonight offers absolutely no respite. Rain bands from the southwesterly frontal system will keep sweeping across Cardiff well into the small hours. Here is the number that matters. Accumulations could reach 15 to 30 millimetres widely across South Wales, and on the hillier terrain in Western Wales, totals could exceed 40 millimetres. That is an enormous amount of water falling onto already waterlogged ground. Roads in Cardiff and the valley communities will see localised flooding. Spray from passing vehicles will slash visibility. If you are driving tonight, reduce your speed and switch on fog lamps. Bristol, just across the channel, is in exactly the same situation. 9 degrees dropping to 5 overnight. Persistent rain, light to moderate winds, same flooding risk. Now remember, I promised you the most dangerous flooding situation at the 5-minute mark. Here it is. The Environment Agency data shows that the Avon Valley, the River Piddle, the River Stour, and dozens of smaller watercourses across the Wessex region are all experiencing groundwater flooding right now. Groundwater levels in Dorset, Wiltshire, and Hampshire have hit alert thresholds. This is not just surface water from tonight is rain. This is water that has been building underground for weeks, and it is now pushing up through the ground itself. That is a type of flooding that does not go away when the rain stops. If you live anywhere in these areas, go to check for flooding.service.gov.uk right now. Prepare torches, a charged phone, and essential supplies in case of power interruptions. Right, let us push northward into the heart of England, the Midlands. Birmingham, the country's second city, recorded 8 degrees today. Tonight it falls to just 3 or 4 degrees. Both the West Midlands and East Midlands are under yellow warnings. Birmingham is in for a cloudy night with outbreaks of rain. Not the relentless downpours hitting the southwest, but here is the catch. The ground is already waterlogged. Drainage systems are under enormous strain. Even a modest amount of additional rain could trigger localized flooding. Flood alerts are active across the Birmingham area. If you live in a low-lying spot near a river or canal, stay alert tonight. Coventry, Leicester, and Nottingham are all in a similar position. Temperatures between 4 and 8 degrees, heavy cloud, intermittent rain. Now here is something most people are not expecting. Sheffield. Sheffield is perched on the edge of the Peak District and it is recording just 5 degrees. Tonight, values could fall to 2 or 3 degrees. That is dramatically colder than the south. Yorkshire and the Humber are under a yellow warning. And here is the twist. Sheffield, because of its proximity to higher ground, may see spells of sleet tonight. A mixture of rain and wet snow, particularly on the western hills above about 300 metres. Roads through the Peak District passes could become genuinely treacherous after dark as temperatures keep dropping. Leeds is faring no better. 6 degrees by day, 4 degrees overnight, patchy rain, moderate winds. Do not miss what is coming next because the northwest has a surprise in store. Manchester. Now, Manchester this evening is actually getting somewhat better conditions compared with the rest of the week. And yes, I realise that tolerable is doing a lot of heavy lifting by British winter standards. The daytime high reached about 10 degrees, dropping to 4 degrees overnight. The chance of rain in Manchester is actually lower than in many other regions. Thick cloud persists and there will be some light drizzle, but here is the small mercy. Manchester may see brief clear spells during the late afternoon before cloud thickens again toward evening. Winds are running at 9 to 22 miles per hour. Salford, Bolton, Oldham and the surrounding towns share the same outlook. Cloudy, occasional drizzle, cool but staying above freezing. Liverpool though, a different story. 6 to 8 degrees by day, falling to 5 after dark. Liverpool has a roughly 60% chance of rain tonight, with expected totals of around 3.3 millimetres. But winds on Merseyside are noticeably stronger than Manchester because of that coastal exposure. 12 to 25 miles per hour. A damp, breezy, thoroughly typical winter is night beside the Irish Sea. The entire northwest remains under a yellow warning. Now we cross the border into Scotland, and this is where the weather story becomes genuinely dramatic. Edinburgh. Scotland is capital, the castle city. Daytime temperatures reached about 7 degrees, dropping to 5 overnight. That is significantly colder than London already, and the wind chill makes it feel worse. Edinburgh is sitting right where cold Scandinavian air from the northeast clashes with the warmer Atlantic systems from the southwest. That collision creates instability. This evening, thick cloud with intermittent rain and a northeasterly breeze drawing moisture off the North Sea will make showers heavier along the eastern coast. If you are walking through Edinburgh tonight, particularly the cobbled slopes of the Old Town, wear sensible footwear with decent grip. Those streets will be treacherous. Glasgow. Scotland is largest city, just 5 degrees during the day, and tonight, values could fall to between 0 and 2 degrees. The Met Office warns that as rain bands push northward, snow is possible on higher ground around Glasgow, particularly above 300 metres. There is one small piece of good news. Northwestern Scotland, including parts of Strathclyde, may see occasional clearer spells. But with temperatures potentially touching freezing by midnight, bridges, overpasses and metal surfaces could start icing up. Driving around Glasgow after dark tonight requires extreme care. Aberdeen, the Granite City. Just 4 degrees today, making it one of the coldest cities in the entire country. Tonight it drops to 1 or 2 degrees. Aberdeen is taking the full force of an easterly breeze laden with moisture from the North Sea. The Met Office has identified the northeast of Scotland as one of the areas bearing the heaviest rainfall in this entire weather event. Rain at lower levels, snow on the heights, particularly across the Grampian Mountains. Visibility will be poor. If you are planning to use the A90 or A96 through Aberdeenshire, check conditions thoroughly before you set off. On the higher tops, the Cairngorms, further centimetres of snow could well accumulate tonight. Dundee, 7 degrees by day, 4 overnight. 80% chance of rain with about 4.3 millimetres expected. Winds at 11 to 21 miles per hour. A cold, damp, classic Scottish winter is night. Inverness, the gateway to the Highlands, just 3 degrees during the day, and tonight temperatures will touch freezing. The Highlands could see genuine snowfall on higher ground. Mountain passes, the A9 over Dromochta, the A82 through Glencoe could be affected by snow and ice. But here is a curious twist. The Northwestern Highlands may actually prove to be the driest part of the entire country tonight. Even the odd clear spell is possible, but the cold is absolutely real. Exposed higher ground could see temperatures of -1 to -3 degrees overnight. If you are anywhere near the hills this weekend, full cold weather gear is essential. Now, heading back south, Newcastle, the great city on the Tyne, 5 degrees by day, dropping to 2 or 3 tonight. The northeast sits right on the boundary between milder southern air and colder Scottish air. That collision point creates particular instability. Rain may turn to sleet on the higher ground around Northumberland by midnight. A northeasterly wind straight off the North Sea adds a raw, bitter edge. Sunderland, Middlesbrough, the coastal towns, all in the same position. Damp, cold, exposed, Northern Ireland. Belfast is recording 5 degrees, though it could reach 9 before falling to 3 overnight. A band of rain will track across Northern Ireland tonight, bringing moderate to heavy falls. Of particular note, the Mourne Mountains and the Sperrin Mountains may well see snow on their summits. Towns like Londonderry, Newry, and Enniskillen will all see rain with cool temperatures. Rural roads crossing hilly terrain could become hazardous after dark. Now quickly, the south coast. Brighton, 9 to 10 degrees, appreciably warmer thanks to the English Channel, but that sea breeze and persistent drizzle make the seafront miserable tonight. Portsmouth, similar temperatures, yellow warning active. Hampshire has seen significant flooding all week. Southampton, 11 degrees by day, 6 overnight, rain persisting. Oxford and Reading in the Thames Valley. Reading has an 80% chance of rain tonight with accumulations of 5.7 millimetres and winds of 16 to 30 miles per hour, noticeably stronger than most locations. Both cities sit within the Thames Basin, and the risk of surface water flooding, particularly in riverside areas, is very real. And Blackpool, that beloved seaside resort, 7 degrees by day, 4 overnight. Sea winds off the Irish Sea will be keen. Anyone fancying an evening stroll along the famous pier should prepare for lively gusts and a good deal of salty spray. So here is your summary, and I want you to find your city in this list. London, 7 to 11 degrees, persistent drizzle, fog after 9. Cardiff and Bristol, 5 to 10 degrees, heavy rain, flooding risk. Birmingham, 3 to 8 degrees, intermittent showers, flood alerts. Manchester, 4 to 10 degrees, occasional drizzle, possible brief clearings. Liverpool, 5 to 8 degrees, windier. Sheffield and Leeds, 2 to 6 degrees, sleet possible on the hills. Newcastle, 2 to 5 degrees, raw easterly wind. Edinburgh, 5 to 7 degrees, rain and wind. Glasgow, 0 to 5 degrees, possible frost, snow on the hills. Aberdeen, 1 to 4 degrees, heavy rain, hill snow. Inverness, touching freezing. Belfast, 3 to 9 degrees, persistent rain. Now, the question everyone is asking, will Sunday be any better? I'm afraid the honest answer, according to the Met Office extended outlook, is no, not appreciably. Unsettled weather will continue well into next week. More low pressure systems, more Atlantic fronts. Western and southern areas remain most at risk of heavy rain and flooding. The northeast could be wetter than normal. Snow remains a possibility. Strong winds may feature again. Temperatures will sit close to seasonal averages, with the northeast tending colder and the southwest occasionally milder. Before I go, one final thing. If you have elderly relatives or neighbours living alone, tonight is the night to pick up the phone. Make sure they have adequate heating, food, and medication. A 2-minute phone call could make all the difference. And here is what is coming in the next video. I am tracking a new weather system that is already forming over the Atlantic, and early model data suggests it could bring something we have not seen yet this winter. I will have the full breakdown city by city with exact timing. Make sure you are subscribed so you do not miss it. Drop your location in the comments right now. I will check the latest data and tell you exactly what is heading to your area. Stay warm, stay safe, and I will see you in